This is another revisional exercise on the rules of Excel, and mainly the focus will be on mixed addresses, absolute relative addresses, so on and so forth. So here we have Global Quality Corporation that has predicted that the sales in year 2010 will be 10,000 euros, so a new small company, upon which they have allocated a budget of 30% for cost of goods to be calculated here, a general administrative budget of 20% for being allocated here, and a marketing budget 35% to be allocated here. So budgets are allocated to the expected expenses, and then we can find the total of expenses here and the net income here. Now, the next year sales will be increased by 10% on the previous year sales, and this will go on for 2012 for 11.20, 2013 10.80, and 2014 12.40. That is what the forecasting department has changed, while the expenses allocation will always be the same for those years. So let's start. The first formula we need to place is here to calculate the sales of the next year based on the forecasting that we have in this area here. So that would be equals, according to the first rule of Excel, last year expenses plus last year expenses times the increase, which is going to be 10%. And as you can observe, I haven't placed any parentheses since multiplication has a higher priority than addition. Please check with the notes that you have been given with this particular exercise. If I press enter, I have the result 11,000, and then I drag it to the right and I get results for the next years. Now I'm ready to calculate the formula for cost of goods in such a way so that if I copy to the right in this range, it will calculate the cost of goods throughout the years, but if I copy all that down, it will calculate the corresponding costs, expenses, different types for all the years. So with one formula we'll cover all this range by copying this simple formula. So let's start. Equals sales times the corresponding budget is the formula to calculate the cost of goods. However, because I want the formula to be copied to the right, I go here at B10 and I press a $sign in front of 10 so that 10 does not change when I copy this formula down, but B changes when I copy this formula to the right, so to adjust to the corresponding years that those cost of goods are expected. Now, then I click on B23 and then again I press F4 to place a $sign in front of B, so that when I copy this formula to the right, it does not change to C, D, E, F, where there are no expense budget allocation, but when I copy it down, it changes to adjust to the new different types of expenses. So this is my formula. I press enter, I get the result, I select the formula and I use the fill handle to drag it to the right, and then again the fill handle to drag it two rows down to have the results for all of the different types of expenses. Amazing, isn't it? Here we have mixed addresses that produce 15 results with just one formula placed here. Now for the total expenses, I will use again the sum tool found here. Again I check that the Excel has selected the correct range and I press enter, and then I also drag it to the right, and finally the net income would be given by the simple formula of deducting from sales the total expenses, and then I copy it to the right. No need for absolute references is needed for the last two formulas and functions. And that concludes the first part of this tutorial. Please join me in the second part.